Well, buckle up.
Back in the old time machine.
13th century. Texture, taste.
Very fishy.
Preservatives. Cornish pasties.
Oh my god, I've never even thought of that. The themes of empire, mission, inheritance, and destiny.
Hello and welcome back to What the Food, the podcast that uncovers the history of the world through food. My name is Miles Dickinson, here with Andy Cantor and Dom Gray, and welcome to Eat, Pray, Obey, the worst cult diets in history. We're doing cults.
We're doing cults. It is our first entry into the world of true crime and people's obsession with true crime.
People love it, especially in the podcast genre.
You love it.
Exactly. So after this, if this episode does well, we might just exclusively do true crime food.
Can't beat them,
right.
join them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll probably run out of episodes after like 5 or something like that. Like, what can you do? You can do like maybe last meals of serial killers, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be a cool one.
Yeah. Food-related deaths.
Jack
Like
the Ripper's diet.
Well, we don't know who he is, so we're not going to get far with that one.
No, Andy will figure it out. Andy, you'll research that one, you may.
Andy figures out the age-old mystery of who the Jack the Ripper is just to find out what he fucking ate.
Yeah. Andy's good like that.
Yeah. All right. That sounds good. That's a challenge. So yeah, cult diets. So we're gonna start off with a little bit of flavour. You're in a jungle. It's 40 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
You've got mosquitoes in places you didn't know had crevices. The only thing standing between you and complete spiritual enlightenment is a scoop of lukewarm lentils, powdered milk chaser, and a man in mirrored sunglasses shouting about socialism while high on prescription drugs and unchecked narcissism. This is dinner time at Jonestown.
Jonestown.
So as Miles said, today we're tucking in to the strange, sad, and often stomach-turning worlds of cult diets. Because if there's one thing that history's creepiest, most controlling spiritual movements have in common, it's terrible food, really. Really shit food.
Is it?
Really bad.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really bad. We're talking like applesauce-based enlightenment, rice rations that make prison food look gourmet, diets so restrictive that make Gwyneth Paltrow blink, and a final supper served to a load of blokes in velvet tracksuits and Nike trainers.
Wow.
That's not good, is it? I mean, if you're in a cult and you're kind of having to abstain from a lot of like normal life's pleasures, surely you'd just get the food bit right. Like if I was going to make a cult, it'd be about praising food, actually, to be fair. The food would be fucking amazing. Be all about the food. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm not going to be a good cult leader, but I don't know.
It would be a wet food-based cult.
Oh, yeah, it'd be beef Shinrikyo on repeat. Dripping. And I'm there. White robe, black robe, pointy robe, no robe, naked.
No,
I don't know, whatever.
You can't be wearing a white robe with beef and ragu knocking around. Surely not.
You're asking for trouble there.
Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. So today, in part 1, this is going to be a 2-part episode. But in both parts, we're going to look at the People's Temple. We're going to look at Heaven's Gate. We're going to look at Aum Shinrikyo. And we're going to look at the Mormons, which is kind of a cult. Maybe a modern day cult.
I think so.
I think they are a cult.
On the fringe, right?
Yeah,
we're going to be focused on more of the fringe groups of Mormonism.
No, I'm calling out every Mormon. No fringes.
Every Mormon.
If you're a Mormon, you're a cultist. You did it first.
So we're going to dive into the culinary chaos of these cults, how the cult leaders used food, not just to feed their flock, but to keep them starving, submissive, and spiritually constipated.
It's a good way to control, isn't it? You're hungry, can't think properly.
Exactly. We're going to look at how they, what they believed about food and how they used it to control their cultists. Quick word of warning before we dig in. Some of these stories are pretty dark. We've got some survivor testimonies that Miles is going to tastefully read later on.
No.
Come on.
Why are you saying tastefully? Why are you starting with a lie, man?
No, I will. I'll do them justice.
I will. Show some damn respect.
I will. We know how to tread the line.
Yeah.
Do it right.
I am very much looking forward to the Aum Shinrikyo quotes because they are purely Japanese people. We'll get one of Miles's 2 accents out, I think. Probably.
Yeah.
That one.
No.
One of 2.
No, but in all seriousness, we are dealing with real people, real suffering, and a fair bit of madness. But as always, we're here to laugh, learn, make you feel deeply uncomfortable every time someone offers you a lentil-based cleanse. So let's learn something, shall we? Let's go. People's Temple. This is where we're starting.
We're starting on a big one here. We're not teasing, we're not easing in. We're going boom, Jonestown.
Boom. Have it.
No, there's no foreplay here. No foreplay. Do you guys know about People's Temple?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've read a bit. I've listened a bit.
Yeah.
It's pretty grim.
Yeah, I've listened to a podcast about it, but I've not read any books on it. I feel like it's something I'd like to, but maybe I won't need to after this podcast because you've done it all for me, Andy.
That's
That'll play, mate.
that's a little cheat code. You let Andy do the reading, and he'll tell us it.
Yeah, that's it.
Cheers, Andy.
But from the podcast that I listened to, it was a mad story. Yeah, it just makes you wonder like how humans get themselves into these situations. And
For the people that don't know anything about People's Temple, I'll give you a quick explainer. So it started out 1950s in Indiana, United States. Indiana, not maybe the first place that springs to mind for a Marxist Christian Messiah type. You'd expect maybe more like California, you know?
hippie central area. I mean, drugs are pretty rife across America at this point, aren't they? Like the kind of hippie movement and people taking LSD and crazy shit.
I think it's just before the hippie movement.
Just before.
So it's the 50s, not quite the 60s yet.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, it's not in full flow.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you'd probably more expect this sort of movement to come out of like California or Seattle, kind of that sort of San Francisco, some of those sort of states. But Indiana, fair enough. Guess you can find a nutter anywhere. Jim Jones.
You can find a nutter anywhere, yeah, true.
Jim Jones was the founder of the People's Temple. White fella, bit of an odd mix, really, because he was obsessed with racial integration, proper hardcore socialism, and absolutely bloody obsessed with himself. Loved himself.
Yeah.
Every cult leader, that, isn't it? They all love
Yeah. Got to be a narcissist to run a cult.
Exactly. He was essentially slinging out this kind of weird cocktail of Christian revisionism, communist theory, and kind of like a level of self-importance that you usually find like reality TV stars having, like Love Island fucking specials having. The actual whole movement started off sounding all right, you know?
Yeah, they usually do.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they get people in, right? Big believer in civil rights, equality, community, all these buzzwords. It almost makes you kind of want to sign up.
Yeah.
Jim, that sounds really, really good.
Yeah. I just think like for such a fucking serious thing to happen and such a serious like movement, the guy was called fucking Jim.
Yeah, It's a funny name, isn't it? Jim Jones. JJ.
Yeah.
Can anybody ever call him that?
Jimbo.
Oh, cheers, JJ. Jimbo. Cheers, Jimbo. What are we doing today, Jimbo?
Yeah,
It's a silly
but
name, really.
that all plays into it, doesn't it? Like a lot of these cult leaders are just very normal people that just maybe were sick of being normal and just felt like inadequate and wanted to do something about it and have an army of people that absolutely adore them and worship them. So, you know, the chances of them having very basic normal people names, I think, is quite high, really. Look at Adolf. I mean, that was probably
Hey, well,
you know, every other kid was probably called Adolf at that time, but you know, he wanted something special, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah, he was. So you're saying Adolf's a trailblazer, is what you're saying? Adolf Hitler's a trailblazer.
referring to what Hitler did as wanting something special is a crazy line there, Milo. These normal people who just wanted something special. You know, just like a little Holocaust or something, just something special, a little bit different than nobody's done before.
No, I'm not justifying his decisions. I almost like dipped into his character then and spoke through his mouth, you know? He was a normal guy called Adolf in a place, you know, where lots of other people were called Adolf, and he just wanted something unique and special with his life, and he did it. But, you know, horrible.
He wanted a solution.
Yeah.
A final one, you could say, yeah.
You know, Jim Jones is probably born, you know, in a very basic. Well, you're going to tell us about him, so I'm not going to jump the gun. But you know, maybe he was born in a town full of other Jims, you know, that all had very mediocre left wing views, and he wanted to have the biggest left wing views and be the biggest Jim, and maybe he did it.
Mediocre left wing views. Like, your views are just so mediocre. If you're going to go left, go all the way.
All the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, it started out quite nicely, and then surprise, surprise, it went tits up. These sermons that he put on started to drag on longer than the Brexit negotiations. You had paranoia levels cranked up to 11. And suddenly, the church needed armed guards and loyalty oaths.
This is it. You just look around one day and there's like outposts and gated barbed wire communities and people with guns, and you're like, wait a minute.
Checkpoints. What's going on there?
Yeah.
I thought we were here for racial integration, lads.
Yeah.
Is that not what we're here for anymore?
We were trying to make love and peace.
Yeah, when the collection plate has been replaced by a box of 7.62mm rounds.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
going on here, lads?
Yeah, this will create peace. Okay, that's how
Yeah.
they get. That's how they sell it in. We need to
Exactly.
kill and shoot people in the head for there to be peace, guys.
Exactly.
Well, fast forward to the late 70s. So this has been kind of rumbling on for a few years now. Jones, absolute mad lad, convinces 900 people
Good
to
amount.
pack their bags and follow him to this sweaty armpit of a place in Guyana, South America, Utopia, or Jonestown, as he humbly called it, And this utopia that he'd created, spoiler alert, it fucking wasn't a utopia.
Nah.
It wasn't. No.
There's a reason why Guyana had a lot of land that he could just get. Like, it's not just by coincidence. It's because it was full of shit. And
Yeah, you're not fighting other people
mosquitoes
for a plot.
Nobody's bothered. They're like, yeah, have that jungle over there if you want that.
Shite.
Do it, yeah. You've got manpower. You're going to clear it out here. Yeah. Still going to be shit, even once you've cleared it, lads, because it's jungle all around. It's tropical.
Well, they got there and it literally was jungle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like the first thing they did when they arrived was like cut trees down and build roads and shit.
Yeah.
Like there was no infrastructure when they arrived at this place. It was like proper built from the ground up, wasn't it?
No. They lived in corrugated iron sheds. It was so fucking hot that it would make Satan fucking sweat balls.
That's what I was about to say. It's like
work, like you said.
corrugated iron sheds in tropical heat. It's not going to be nice, is it? Sweaty, in a word.
Like no, definitely not. And like you said, backbreaking work, clearing the forest, assembling these sheds, building the perimeter, and they fucking had to eat just rice, just so much bastard rice. That's all they had.
Well, there must have been money there, though. I mean, it's a massive operation, to move 900 people.
I think that's usually the deal, isn't it, with cults, is how they make it work, is that, when you join, it's like, oh, we're all together now, so what's yours is ours and what's ours is yours, so give us all your money. So if you've got 900 folk coming in that are doing that, then you've got enough to get some corrugated huts in the jungle.
Yeah.
All adds up. Every little hope.
Obviously, the accountant wasn't allocating enough budget towards food, was he? He was going towards other things, really.
Splashed on the corrugated iron and then was like, shit. Got rice and beans for the next 2 years.
Shit.
Well, let's now we're talking about the grub. Let's get to the grub, shall we? Or more accurately, the tragic, soul-crushing lack of it.
So I've been in the field slaving away. I've been building roads, back-breaking work, sweating, fighting off mosquitoes, getting really injured, having arguments with locals that really don't want me to be there, and they're fucking shooting arrows and shit at me. And what's for dinner, mate? What's for dinner, Jim?
All right. Okay. Well, so here's the daily menu in Jonestown. Picture the worst school dinner you've ever had, right? Yep. Now imagine it was cooked by Jamie Oliver's less talented cousin who had just read the Communist Manifesto, right?
Head's not in the food, really.
No, definitely not. So you've got rice, you've got beans, you've got rice and beans.
Yeah.
You've got rice with beans, and you've got beans on rice. And if you're good, right, you might get a spoonful of soy mince, right?
Soy mince.
Soy mince. Yeah.
Lovely.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Nice bit of wallpaper paste to go with your rice and beans.
Just sticks it all together, doesn't it?
Any spices? Yep. Are they flavouring this rice with any saffron or anything?
Saffron,
that's crazy. But I feel like they would have had the... surely they would have had the sort of climate to grow good spices.
Chilies? Peppers?
I don't think it was a priority. I don't think. I think, I don't think they just didn't need to do that. They didn't need to do that at all. And they didn't do that. So they just had rice, beans. Oh, to be fair, to wash it all down, you could have a nice glass of powdered milk.
Oh, I love powdered milk. Like Nesquik?
Yeah. Not quite Nesquik. No, not quite Nesquik. No.
Not quite. Okay. Yeah. All right. This is sounding decidedly hellish so far, mate.
Reconstituted milk sludge in 100-degree heat. And you know full well that water is not fucking cold either.
I was about to say.
Warm milk.
Made with unclean water.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Exactly.
No from me.
No, they'd have been better off just with water if,
That's what I was about to say, is just have your water and be happy with that. Don't mix in milk to your jungle water.
But I think from the point of view of like Jones himself, he wants the people to have nutrients and the fat and the kind of protein to carry out the work. So Maybe that's where the kind of powdered milk comes from, is to kind of give them a bit of something to...
It's like a shit protein shake.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, I managed to find a Rolling Stone article which outlined kind of the full daily diet after they'd interview a few kind of survivors. And this is what that Rolling Stone article said they ate.
Breakfast consisted of rice, watery milk, and brown sugar. Promptly at 7, a typical resident reported to work in the field, which might be as much as 1.5 miles away. Workers were required to do heavy weeding in temperatures that often rose well above 100 degrees. There was a half-an-hour break for lunch. Most often, the midday meal was a bowl of rice soup. The workday, yeah. The workday ended at 6 p.m. A resident had less than 2 hours to walk back from the field, shower and eat dinner, which usually consisted of rice and gravy and wild greens.
So again, rice soup.
Shit, what is rice soup? What is that?
It's leftover rice from like the day before that's like stuck to the pan and it's like not really edible, and then they water it down with...
Boiled it up.
Yeah, they boil it up and kind of turn it into like a rice pudding type thing.
That's shit.
It's proper like, kind of peasant.
And then the gravy's it's not KFC gravy. I imagine it's just, again, the shit that's left in the bottom of the pan that's stuck, and they've just
water added.
boiled the shit out of it. Yeah, exactly. Shove some like wild plants that are just around, and then there's your greens.
Oh, you've done your weeding today, have you, lads? Did you bring a bucket of those weeds? I mean, just season this little rice soup that I've cooked up for us.
Yeah, and it puts me off when they call things greens, because it's just like they don't know what it is. They're just calling it greens. It's an eclectic mix of maybe edible, maybe not edible foliage.
Yeah,
plants.
You're right, plants. But everything was rationed, and I mean strictly rationed. Members often lived on less than 1,200 calories a day, despite working these 12-hour brutal shifts in the heat, building, farming, weeding. If you spoke out, less food. Late to a meeting, less food. Had a thought that Jim didn't like, less food.
Bloody hell. So they're using that as the punishment tactic. It's like a weight loss camp, this. I could do with going, to be fair. So this would be great for me.
About ready to join a cult, are you, lad?
Yeah.
We're like, 10 minutes into the episode and you're already sold on, I think I'm ready for a cult.
Yeah, I think I'm ready for this, pre-holiday little getaway.
Yeah, but then once you get jacked, you can't leave.
Backed his way out, mate. He's lost his way, bulked up, and he's ready to fucking break out.
Yeah. There's no point having a six-pack if, you believe in this shit when you come out the other end of it.
Yeah.
Weird idea, but nice muscles. I can tell you've worked hard on those.
Your thinking is questionable, but your aesthetics are wonderful.
Oh, wonderful.
Again, quoting from the Rolling Stone article.
Complaints about the food were always dealt with harshly. There were maggots in the rice, and you either ate it in the light and picked them out, or, if too exhausted, sat in the dark and ate a lot of maggots.
Well, it's extra protein, isn't it?
Yeah, it might actually break up the rice, maybe.
Different texture.
Yeah.
Oh, that's horrible.
Horrible.
Maggots in the rice.
People were literally starving while Jim Jones sat in his throne-like chair at mealtimes and sipped Pepsi flown in specially from the States.
Was he eating the same food, though, but just flexing with Pepsi, or was he sitting there with a nice little steak?
He had his own food, yeah.
Wow. See, that's the thing that gets me with the cults. It's fair play if you're there thinking that he's proper good geezer, but surely at some point you got to be sitting there being like, come on, mate, let me have a sip. And then when he's not, are you not sitting there being like, he's maybe not such a good geezer, he's maybe a little bit selfish? Is that not a thing?
You want your cult leader to be on the ground, going through, leading by example.
Exactly.
But, time and time again, these cult leaders, they're doing little secret things that they're not allowing their followers to do. There's some, what is it? That what's the Bhagwan Rajneesh one? I watched that documentary a little while ago. Bhagwan Rajneesh.
Yeah.
Bhagwan Rajneesh.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah, and the leader of that cult, he was shagging loads of the women.
It's always the way.
That's what he was getting out of it.
Yeah.
But then I think everyone else had to oh no, it was a bit of a sex cult anyway, wasn't it? Actually, I think they were all
loved it.
Yeah.
See, for Jones, food wasn't just about keeping the body and the soul together. It was a weapon. It was a tool, like a really shit, depressing spork of control. Starvation equals devotion. Suffering means you're really feeling the socialism. If you weren't utterly fucking miserable, were you even trying? basically.
What's the point?
Exactly. Yeah. And then he introduced white knights. You guys heard of white knights before?
Only on a chessboard.
Is it not like a grass? Someone who's like grasses up.
That's a fucking ick. That was an ick, Dom. Don't do that again.
What?
Knight to D4.
Well, that's all I'm saying. What do you want from me?
Is it not like little undercover like people to like snitch back to Jim Jones? Is that what
Kind
White
of.
Knight?
What Jonesy would do? White knights. No, knights is in N-I, like a knight.
Yeah, as in knights on a chessboard, Milo.
No,
as in
night
as in
time.
tonight.
Tonight, as in without a K.
Yeah, mate. We're not playing chess here. They didn't have chessboards.
Yeah, but have you heard about knights on a chessboard? No. So it's a white night. It's a night, an evening of whiteness. White rice?
What are you on about? You're just saying words, Tom.
That's what I do like 90% of the time, mate.
White rice night.
White rice
Tonight.
on a night tonight, right?
What the fuck is
white,
it?
Yeah, just tell us. For God's
White knight. What Jonesy would do is he would get everyone riled up, pretending that they were about to be invaded by the CIA or some giant jungle spiders or some shit, right? And he would
raid.
It's a raid.
Who's healing?
Because obviously he's fucking off his tits on prescription medicine at the minute, prescription drugs. So he's paranoid as bollocks, right? And he's dreaming up all sorts of stuff. So he introduced these white knights where he would do them kind of on a regular. It's like a mock raid. And he would make them all queue up to drink the poison. Just a drill, just a bit of a loyalty test.
Mm-hmm.
And he would essentially get them into this kind of mindset of they could be raided at any moment. And they need to be prepared and they need to be ready at any moment to drink the poison.
Makes it feel so real, doesn't it? If like you're always preparing for it, even if there's no chance of it actually happening. But if you're doing drills, then it's like, fucking hell, this could happen any minute.
And as well, if you make it normal, then when you want them to actually drink real poison, they're just like, oh yeah, it's another practice, isn't it, Jimmy boy? Yeah, another practice, Jimmy. Yep. And it's not.
Yeah. It's like, come on, kids, pretend to drink the cyanide just like we practice. Come on. It's just, But yeah, this bloke weaponized sugary drinks only slightly less effectively than Coca-Cola did.
Wow.
And here's the kicker, right? The bit that everyone gets wrong wasn't even Kool-Aid that he got people to drink. It's Flavor Aid. Little version.
So it's like knockoff.
So we're almost giving him too much credit there.
Yeah, because that's where the saying "drink the Kool-Aid" came from, but it wasn't even fucking cool. Wow. Yeah. I feel sick. Yeah. My life's a lie.
So the next time, Dom, the next time you hear someone say that, you can be that insufferable prick that goes, well, actually, it's Flavor.
That sounds right up my alley, mate. Wait, actually.
Wrong.
Can't fucking wait.
Yeah.
That's what this podcast is about. It's giving those little nuggets of info that'll help you out in some conversational,
or
pop quiz.
Be a bit of a prick in a conversation.
Yeah. You got to read the room. Yeah. Correcting kind of mass suicide trivia. You're not going to be top tier of the fucking party list here.
We don't care, Dom, what brand it was. It was still really horrible.
Deborah Layton, 18 years old. So she joined People's Temple when she was 18. By the age of 21, she became a trusted aide to Jim Jones. And by 24, she believed she was heading to the organization's tropical paradise.
Wow.
Until realizing she'd basically just entered Auschwitz, essentially, fucking concentration camp.
That's unfortunate.
Luckily, though, Deborah managed to escape and she ended up writing a book about her life and her experiences. She recently did an AMA on Reddit, which I used for a lot of kind of first-hand boots on the ground research for this section. But there's also some really good quotes from people from Deborah where people ask questions about the food. These are a couple. So this is one of the things she said about the quality.
The food was woefully inadequate. There was rice for breakfast, rice water soup for lunch, and rice and beans for dinner. On Sunday, we each received an egg and a cookie. 2 or 3 times a week we had vegetables. Some very weak and elderly members received 1 egg per day.
Well, that's quite thoughtful of them, at least. If you're weak and old, get an extra egg. That's very kind.
1 egg a day.
Yeah, it's still pretty shit, isn't it, actually?
Yeah. Yeah.
On reflection, I tried to spin it into them, been a bit nice, but yeah, If you're holding out for that Sunday cookie, you know that wouldn't sit right with me. It's not a full
and you know it's
pack
not
from Sainsbury's, and I'm not interested. Gin or M&S. I'm asking too much there, but you know.
Yeah, it's not a double chocolate cookie. It's probably a rice flour fucking cookie.
Yeah.
And the chopped chips are like ants. They've just been ground.
You've lost me there, Jim.
Yeah. But I mean, were these people expecting gourmet food? I mean, or was this a surprise to them when they arrived that there was no decent scran? Or
I think they believed they were going to a tropical paradise. So for me, a tropical paradise is mangoes, melons, pineapples, nice
milk.
swordfish, coconut milk, a lot of fresh seafood, doing a lot of barbies down by the beach. Not rice and beans and an egg.
And an egg. No.
Weak.
No.
Yeah, they maybe expected a bit of shit to start with. But did they ever get to the good bit? Or did they just never get there?
Spoiler alert. Sorry. She then goes on to talk about what Reverend Jones was dining on.
In contrast, Reverend Jones, claiming problems with his blood sugar, dined separately and ate meat regularly. He had his own refrigerator, which was stocked with food. You kid. What a bell end.
So he's living like a king, essentially, in this community.
All on, isn't he?
Exactly. And she finally mentions about what happened when she fell ill once during her time at Jonestown.
In February 1978, conditions had become so bad that half of Jonestown was ill with severe diarrhea and high fevers. I was seriously ill for 2 weeks. Like most of the other sick people, I was not given any nourishing foods to help recover. I was given water and a tea drink until I was well enough to return to the basic rice and beans diet.
The fact that she refers to it as a tea drink rather than just like tea makes me think that it's like 1 tea bag to like 40 litres or something like that. And it's just like, it's got a hint of tea. This will make you feel better.
Make it last. Make it last now.
Don't gulp it all down at once.
Yeah, and Jim's having like a 3 tea bag brew in a mug.
Proper rich.
Full fat milk. They were all getting ill then at this point. It looks like this kind of like lack of nutrients and bad diet was kind of catching up with the whole camp at this point.
Massively. And the genius, if you can call it that, of Jones was understanding that if you control someone's food, you control their body, and eventually you control their mind. People weren't just spiritually starving, they were physically breaking down, they were weak, they were tired, they were disorientated, which meant they were easy to manipulate. It's hard to rebel when you have had a protein.
That's what I was about to say. If you're starving, that's your main focus. You're not really thinking, what is going on here? It's a bit mad. You're thinking, fuck me, I can't wait for my rice soup.
Exactly. And when your teeth are falling out because of a vitamin deficiency, you're not in a good way. You're not well. You're not getting your supplements in. But by the end, in Jonestown, people weren't just dying emotionally. They were walking skeletons, too exhausted to think. And then,
that's how you keep them.
When the final day came, November 18th, 1978, Jim Jones handed out a grape-flavored drink spiked with cyanide, Valium, and tranquilizers. Over 900 people died, including over 300 children. And it was the biggest single loss of American civil life in a deliberate act until 9/11. And all of it was ultimately it was all about control, not just of minds, but of bodies.
Wasn't the CIA kind of coming in on them at that point?
Yeah, Congressman had been killed.
It was kind of like a real threat then, and then they were like, right, well, if we can't have what we want, this utopia, they're not going to leave us alone, and let's just fucking kill it all off.
The net was closing. And Jones knew that he was in a bit of a pickle.
Bit bother.
And just...
I'm in deep shit.
And just took the nuclear option, held down that power button on his PC, and just fucking ended it for everyone.
Hard reset it.
If you ever think about joining a commune, ultimately don't, but check the menu first if you're thinking about it. And if they've only got rice, beans, or beans and rice, just run.
Yeah.
Right? And if they serve you grape flavour aid, fucking run past it.
Yeah. Absolutely get yourself out of there.
So there you go. Jonestown. So at the end of this episode, we're gonna rank the cults that we're gonna run through. So keep in mind that diet in question.
Yeah, it sounds pretty shit. It's gonna be a hard one to top, I would say.
Yeah. So up next, Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate.
Oh, these are the cool guys. These are the guys that wore like Jordans or something, didn't they? Didn't they? Air Maxes, maybe something like that. They were all found dead, like trackied up and got the sneaks on.
Yeah, this is
it was actually Nike Decade trainers.
Yes. Yeah. You see, these are the cool guys. Aren't these the ones that were catching a comet to go somewhere? Wasn't that their vibe? Or is that a different one?
That's the one. That's the one.
I think this is the one I'd join. Putting my colours, staking my colours to mast. I'm probably going to hear how shit their food was. But like, you know, I like space. So if I had to join a cult, I'd join the one that's jumping on a comet.
I've just Googled those 1993 Nike decades, and there's definitely better Nikes they could have chosen.
Well, I think they just got them on clearance. That's the thing. I think they got like a bunch of them on a deal. But there are pictures. Be careful. But there are pictures of the dead bodies. I think they're covered with like blankets, but you can see their trackies and their shoes, and they all look fucking lit. Trendy as.
So yeah, Heaven's Gate. If you thought Jonestown was the peak of cult madness, oh boy, Heaven's Gate. So it makes Jonestown look like a badly organised village fete. This is peak Premier League. This is Drogba banging them in, Ronaldo doing stepovers. This is it. Started back in the 70s, founded by a bloke called Marshall Applewhite.
That's a bit more interesting than Jim Jones. Another point in the favour of this cult. I think that's an interesting name. There's not many. What was it? Marshall Applewhite.
Applewhite.
White.
Applewhite.
What, as in white knights on a chessboard?
Marshall was a pudgy looking bloke. He looked a bit like a geography teacher who's lost his kind of enthusiasm for Oxbow Lakes. He looks...
Oxbow Lakes, that's so niche, but so true.
Yeah, he's lost it all. He just gets colouring pencils out all the time now. Give it in.
We're watching a documentary today, kids. That kind of a guy, yeah.
Exactly, 100%. So it was founded by Marshall Applewhite and his little hussy lady friend called Bonnie Nettles, who sounds like a porn star.
That's really. Another good name.
Bonnie Nettles.
Bonnie Nettles. Sounds like, yeah, it's Sting afterwards.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a little tagline on her OnlyFans or whatever she's got.
It's not great, is it? It's basically like saying that she's got STDs. It'll sting after, guys. Be proper itchy and prickly.
Yeah, you need to get a dock leaf on that.
So together, Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles cooked up this unique blend. Kind of a part new age woo-woo, part sci-fi movie, all UFO cult. Think crystals, but with added spaceships, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their whole shtick was that Earth was to be recycled. And the only way off this doomed rock. Gotta get off this rock! What movie is that? Is it Sean Connery? Is it called The Rock?
Oh, it's called The Rock, yeah. Yeah. Gotta get off this rock.
Gotta get off this rock! Yeah. So yeah, their whole shtick was that Earth was being recycled, and the only way off Earth was to hitch a ride on a spaceship, which was hiding behind Haley Bop.
Haley Bop.
Yeah. So they knew there was a real comet that was kind of flying close to Earth. It was kind of in the news, in the zeitgeist at the time. Everyone was kind of talking about it.
Correct.
Whoa, this is interesting. And then they were like, right, there's a spaceship hiding behind it. This is our only time. This is once in a millennia opportunity.
Yeah, because it's not back for a while, is it? It's back in like a couple of hundred, maybe 1,000 years, something like that.
Is it?
Yeah, it's got like a proper big orbit, I think.
How are they going to get from Earth to the spaceship, though? What was their transportation?
You just got to cark it when it's coming by. That's the thing. You just got to kill yourself. So then when it's coming by, you float up to it. Obviously, mate. Come on.
Because they believed they were not really human, but they were extraterrestrial souls trapped in vehicles, bodies, essentially.
Okay.
It's all about disassociating from actually being human, which makes it easier for you to just fucking do yourself in, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, and you've also got like a bit of narcissism sneaking in there where it's like, we're not normal humans. We're extraterrestrial special ones that can float wherever we want. It's just that we're trapped in human vessels. You know, there's a bit of I'm better than you happening there as well.
Apparently, Haley Bop is not coming back for a very long time, according to AI.
Accurate, that.
4,300 years. Is what they're saying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we missed our chance. We could have been a part of that. No, we weren't alive, were we?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's another cult at that period that go, no, they missed.
Yeah,
they missed it.
They went too early. Yeah. It was coming the next
day. Heaven's Gate 2.
Yeah. The return.
The return of the comet.
These guys, Heaven's Gate members were obsessed with cleansing, purity, discipline, and transcending the flesh, which basically meant no sex, no attachments, no fun, and certainly no cheese.
No cheese?
Don't know that I'm in on this anymore.
Yeah, well, no good food, no cheese. Cheese is good, isn't it? Can't
Yeah.
cheese. No. So it all came crashing down in 1997, where 39 members checked out early by a ritual suicide. They did so in a rented mansion in California, naturally. You know, you're not going to buy it if you fucking die, are you? You might as well
That's the
rent it.
thing. You might as well. Yeah. Short term, Airbnb it.
Exactly. And the dress code, identical black tracksuits, proper shell suit vibes, fresh Nike Decade trainers, and little purple shrouds over their faces. They put them there themselves. It wasn't like a coroner or anything like that.
Oh, I always thought that was the I just thought that was like the police doing a nice thing, you know, being like, you don't want to see their faces, but no, they've done it themselves. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like a bizarre kind of tragic sports team being poisoned by fucking, I don't know, the coach or something. It's really weird. Trainers, it's really weird. Just they all get matching trainers, like you said. Probably got one.
It's a bit mad, isn't it? I wonder, did they think that it was like, you know, you had to all be matching to get on the combat or something? I don't know.
Yeah, on brand and that. But I mean, they probably just went into like, you know, a Sports Direct equivalent and just had a discount basket, like you said, and just grabbed a bunch from that.
We're looking for 90 pairs.
I don't think they make Nike Decades now, so I'm guessing they just weren't really a hot seller. So just probably cheapest one they had.
I mean, even if they did, they were Nike were probably like, look, it's a bit famous for cults and death. It's not going to sell many trainers, that is it? Let's rebrand.
Maybe they'll do an anniversary when that next cult comes around.
Proper tee it up for them. Go on. The shoes are back.
Targeted advertising. Yeah.
Go on, who's going to use them? Brought them back. Nobody fancy it.
Shoes so comfy, you'll kill yourself. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Oh, God. No, I think like they probably had a board meeting at Nike and thought, do you know what? These shoes are a bit shit anyway, actually. So let's just...
They weren't even selling anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
So let's talk food. The Heaven's Gate diet was sparse. Like real sparse. So in the years leading up to their mass suicide, members followed extremely low calorie vegetarian or vegan diets. Nothing indulgent, nothing stimulating. Meals were measured, plain, and meticulously prepared. Think steamed vegetables, herbal tea, applesauce, and the occasional protein powder smoothie if you were feeling a bit wild.
I suppose if you're just planning on getting rid of your vehicle, so to speak, what's the point in getting your filet mignons in there?
Well, yeah.
Who cares? Binning it off anyway.
And if I thought that I was an alien trapped in a human body, I'd eat that stuff. It's like, let's eat the human goop, applesauce, jelly goop, protein goop. Give me the goop.
I love goop.
Give me the goop.
No meat.
You're like Gwyneth Paltrow, that's her company, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Second time she's got shade in this episode.
I was going to say, she is getting rinsed. Is she the new Sean?
Well, I think she's come back now. I think she's eating real food again. I think
really?
She's done 180. Yeah, I swear I saw a picture of her eating a bit of pizza the other day.
Really?
Wow.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Again, cult leaders. They're having whatever they want, aren't they?
They are. Yeah. But Applewhite wasn't, because he believed in extreme bodily discipline. The flesh was seen as a container of temptation, and food was one of the ways. Food was one of the ways that the temptation crept in. Basically means he hated flavor.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
We don't need flavor. We just need nutrients.
Exactly.
Did he talk like that?
And 1993 Nike Decades look fresh to death. Rip it, lick it,
Rip it.
Flip it.
I managed to find a Vice article on the subject, which outlines their standard daily menu. It consisted of:
they would have had a grain cereal in the morning, followed by a low-fat sandwich for lunch, no fried foods, such as French fries, and dinner would consist of a carefully prepared protein with vegetables. So this is it. It's all feeling very clinical, very kind of like just nothing that's going to add to the enjoyment of the experience. It's just purely nutrients and sustenance.
That's a key word there, pure. It needed to be pure, empty, and he wanted people to be obedient inside and out. And what better way to achieve that when with a boiled courgette?
Yeah, exactly.
Obey me.
Obey me. But he kind of believed in this himself, didn't he? He was like in the deep in the deep end himself.
Yeah, he was eating his own applesauce. Yeah.
Oh, at least he's committing to it and he's not drinking Pepsi and steak and stuff. Yeah, a bit more respect for the lad.
He's in the trenches. He's not just blowing the whistle. He's in the trenches for sure.
Like that.
And eating for him, eating for all of them wasn't pleasure. It wasn't really even about staying alive. It was ritual. It was a ritual. It was done quietly, precisely, and kind of with a facial expression of someone doing their fucking yearly annual tax return, right? It was clinical. Wasn't enjoyable. People did slip up, and there was punishments for people slipping up.
Susie, I saw you having a triple whopper. Come this way.
Oh yeah, you're kicked out if you're having a triple whopper. Even a single whopper would get you done in.
It wasn't just a whopper. I saw you had large fries and a strawberry milkshake with 2 hash browns on the side. Come this way.
That's cosmic detention. No. As you said, Dom, earlier, there's actually photos of the suicide, but there's even surviving videos.
Oh wow, not seen those.
There are actual videos of them explaining why they're about to kill themselves. And you'll notice how eerily calm they are.
So all that kind of brainwashing's like worked, doesn't it? And they're just not even... Charm. Yeah, they're not having that natural human response that you'd have to the idea of ending your own life.
No, exactly. They're genuinely excited to die, which is what years of boiled cabbage and joyless meal prep. So you see all these fucking influencers telling you to meal prep. Better watch out.
Fuck off.
You're gonna be happy to kill yourself one day. Keep following them.
Hey guys, me again. It's Thursday's vlog. I just want you all to kill yourself today.
Jeez.
I'm doing it 2, 3, 2, 1. Get it.
Get it.
Hashtag Day of Reckoning.
Have we got the Night Decades on? Get it.
Get it.
Get it. Before you do, get it. Hit that like button. Make sure you follow.
Yeah, this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. You won't need those.
Oh, God. Dear.
That's where we're headed.
That's where we're going. There's also this infamous period within the cult where 2 members, including Applewhite himself, went on what they called the Master Cleanse. That is where, again, you could see this being advertised on fucking Instagram. Exactly, yeah. So this is where you drink nothing but water, lemon juice, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper for days. People do this now. I swear, people do this now.
Yeah, that's like a detox, isn't it? That's what that is.
Like a water fast.
Basically, yeah, basically. But he did it because he believed that it would help him detach himself from human-level addictions.
Wow.
Right.
He wasn't kind of, drop a few pounds that he'd gained from eating too many mince pies over Christmas. He was, he was trying to get cosmically attached.
Yeah, I think this guy just needed some help. Like, he needed help.
Yeah, he needed better help.
Yeah, he needed better help. So sign up with my discount code. What the? No, he did. He needed to be institutionalized.
Agreed.
We're talking about severe mental health issues here, aren't we?
But not just of Applewhite as well. All these 30 odd people that he managed to recruit. And so for the research for this section on Heaven's Gate, I found a Vice article, which I think we've already quoted above. But essentially, one of the journalists over at Vice was interviewing 2 of the surviving members of the cult. Members since the very beginning, I might add. Still active, still very much believers to this day, communicative online, despite their adamant wish to stay anonymous.
Don't they have a website that's still up as well?
I believe so. Yeah, so it's still an active thing. Like they might come for us after this episode. So if you don't hear from us again, you know where we've gone. We've ascended.
If I'm found in a ditch with a pair of 1993 decades on, you'll know exactly what's happened.
Yeah, their website is class. It's like proper 90s type website. It's like they've still got it live because they want people to see it, but they haven't updated just the look in general. So you've got a lot of like bright writing. Keys.
Could we not trace like the IP and find out who owns the website and just go and interview them and find out what's going on?
There we go.
Yeah, I'll do that, mate. Don't worry. I'll do that. Next episode, we'll have a special guest.
Yeah, but all these people died, so what they're like. Well, I guess that's why they wanted to remain anonymous, because
They fucked it.
I think they fucked it and probably shouldn't be openly talking about the fact that they're still active members of a cult that murdered a lot of people.
I don't know about this anonymity, because there's a literal bloody address on their website at the bottom. It's in Phoenix, Arizona, apparently. They have it.
Well, there you go.
We should go. We should
Road trip.
But yeah, they want to stay anonymous, or they did for this when they were being interviewed for this Vice article, because I imagine it's pretty hard to keep down a job. You've been part of the plot. But anyway, here are a few of their statements around food and their beliefs on it still to this day.
We tried every diet out there to see its effect on their body, from fruitarian to wheatgrass, to low-cooked grains, to juice-only consumption, a juice-only diet for weeks at a time, and strip the body's childish and self-centered ways of looking at food, nutrition, and what a brain feels it needs to make it feel satisfied. It is a real learning experience.
So they're trying to get rid of that emotional connection that I think we have with food and make it purely survival based.
Yeah, that's just so weird though. Like, what do you gain from that?
Yeah.
Like
By the end of the interview, though,
you go, sir.
by the end of the interview, they do actually start spouting some slightly more palatable answers, especially around moderation. This is what they had to say.
But in the end, moderation in small amounts of meat, chicken, and lots of vegetables and grains was the key. It provided a balance that could supply us with the energy to work out at our regular jobs while supplying the mental alertness to keep our focus and direction.
So it just sounds like a standard recommendation from a GP, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, to function as a human, we just needed to eat a certain amount of a balanced diet.
Yeah,
Exactly.
eat 5 a day. I think, they were just very, like you say, mentally ill. Have you seen the cool names that they've got? They got like cool names as being part of Heaven's Gate. I'm just reading some of the...
Yeah, Applewhite was called Do, wasn't he?
Yeah, Earth exit statements by students. So these are like what they wrote before they went, and there's 3 of them on there. And you've got Chakotys, Glenoddies, and Shroddies. Those are the 3 names. The E's at the end is because it's like, apostrophe S.
Crispy Shroddies.
Could you imagine your name's just Shroddy? Hey, Shroddy, come over. Did you get those trainers, Shroddy? No, Glonoddy's gone to go get them, mate. Oh, can you not get Chakotay to go too? These are the conversations that they were having in like 1996.
In this mansion. Shloddy, Chakotay, dinner.
Glenoddy's special dish.
It's sploshy doshy in the bowl. Oh, Gleneshi.
Oh,
Bloody Gleblocky.
Wow.
So food in Heaven's Gate wasn't about control through fear like it was in Jonestown. It was about giving up earthly pleasures to ascend. But here's the thing, it still was about control. It was just wrapped in a neat little spiritual bow. You weren't allowed to eat what you liked. You weren't allowed to enjoy your meals. You weren't even allowed to indulge in the basic experience of nourishment, because desire was bad, pleasure was distraction, and your vehicle was just a meat sack getting in the way of your alien enlightenment.
Hate it when my meat sack gets in the way.
Me too. And when you're living in a world where even mayonnaise is sinful...
Yeah, that's no world you want to live in, is it? Mayonnaise.
That's right.
Simple.
You don't want to live in that world. So when they say, kill yourself, you're like, yes,
I'm going to a place where I can bathe in mayo. Yes.
I can enjoy my food once again. I'm getting you ready for that.
Exactly. Getting you ready. So yeah, they didn't have rice and beans like Jonestown. They had control by silence, spreadsheets, and steamed broccoli. So the next time someone offers you a detox or saying, I'm just doing a reset, just, politely ask, is it a juice cleanse or an intergalactic cult suicide ritual?
Is it a juice cleanse?
In line.
A Sharodi special.
In line. Right. That, friends, is where we're going to pause this week. We're going to pause there and try and digest what we've run through. We've had the grim jungle rations of Jonestown leading to an actual Flavor Aid roulette with pretty horrendous consequences. We've had the cosmic calorie counting of Heaven's Gate, where even applesauce felt like a sin. Two very different paths, same kind of terrifying destination, ultimately. But hold on to your hats, because the cult buffet of despair isn't closed. just yet. Next time, we're diving into the world of deadly nerve gas funded by starvation. We're going to be exploring apocalyptic pantries and a curious Jello obsession.
Okay.
Subscribers, or as we like to call them, Knights of the Kitchen Table, can get access to that episode now. Right now. If you're not a subscriber, if you're not a Knight of the Kitchen Table.
Peasant.
What are you
Sorry
doing?
for calling people peasants. I rescind. We love
You can sign up today. Just £3 a month. You'll get immediate access to these episodes, so you won't have to wait around a week like the rest of these peasants.
Lovely.
Just going to
lovely regular listeners is what we're going.
Regular listeners. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You also get some exclusive content that we're going to put out as well. Some bonus stuff. If you're not a subscriber, don't fret. You'll still get your episode, but you just have to wait till next week. Which, if you want to do that, fine. But I'm pissed off.
Yeah, I'll remember that.
But no, it's going to get even weirder. So join us for part 2.
Yeah.
Well, there we have it. Yeah, I knew a little bit about those two cults, only a sprinkling. So it's nice to have kind of delved a bit deeper into them and learn more about, you know, their motivations and how it actually played out. And then also just like the food, like how integral the food is to the kind of success of a good cult.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Very interesting. Brilliant. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for sticking to the end of the episode. If you liked that, please feel free to share it with a friend. That always really, really helps. You can rate us on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts as well. Give us a rating on there. That's super helpful. And if you want to reach out and say hello or recommend a topic for us to cover, you can email us at whatthefoodpodcast@gmail.com. And I think that's about everything. So, yeah, we'll see you soon for the next episode. Thanks again.
See you next week.
Bye, guys.